Hey, good Saturday morning to you, YouTube. So it's How To with Doc Yaddy coming at you again. So there's going to be a little bit of adult humor in this one, but the little ones, they won't know what it is. It's just a little bit of a joke. So the first thing we're doing this morning is building a bed, a bed frame anyway, and then finishing up the roof. It seems like I can't do it in the morning because there's a lot of moisture on the roof from condensation or dew. So it has to do it in the hottest part of the day, but you know, that's Alabama. And then the last thing we're going to do is paint the interior of the living area. I'm waiting until this afternoon or early evening to do it. That way the humidity can burn off and the moisture can burn off, just so it'll be a little bit easier to paint. First thing I'm going to show y'all is the plan for the bed. It's kind of rudimentary. I just drew it out on a piece of paper and figured up the math. Then I'll show y'all a trick for making straight cuts. And then I'll show you the cut boards. And then we'll get started on that. So look forward to talking to y'all. See y'all after a while. Bye-bye. Okay, YouTube. As I told you, it's a pretty rudimentary drawing. Basically, the only things you need to do this, you need to know the dimensions of the mattress. So a twin size mattress measures 75 by 39. That's the OD, the outside dimension. So the ID of the bed frame needs to be at least that large or a little bit larger. So what I'm doing is I'm making it 1 inch larger in all dimensions so that I have room to get my hands in to tuck in sheets and such as that. Down below that is a bed of a drawing of what it's going to look like. So one thing that I'm going to do is the end rails are going to cap the side rails rather than be inside of them. And because of the dimensions of a 2x6, 2x6 is not 2 inches by 6 inches. It's 1.5 by 5.5. All dimensional lumber is smaller than it's labeled. You'll notice on the inside of the drawing, there are 1 by 1 by 8s, which I'm going to cut down, screw to the bottom edge of the board, and then they're going to serve as mattress supports. I'm going to use a memory foam mattress that's 8 inches thick. So the 2x6, being 5.5 inches tall, will nicely secure the mattress. But if you sit on the edge of the bed, your legs won't be hitting the support rails. So my cuts, after you do the math, are going to be, the rail length is 73 inches. And because you have to accommodate for the 1.5 inches of thickness that the end caps are going to add, 1.5 inches plus 1.5 inches adds up to 3. So that means that we're going to make our rails, once they're assembled, there'll be an overall length of 76, which will accommodate the mattress. I cut the ends at 40 inches because they're going to be caps, and so that'll take care of that. Now, a trick that I use when cutting lumber, let me find a piece here. I take my square, okay? Let me find a piece you can actually see this on. There we go. So you have your lumber here, and let's say that it needs to be 14 inches long. So you pull out your tape measure and you measure 14 inches long. Okay, so 14 inches long. You make a tick mark, and then something I learned on this old house is the part of the wood you're not using, you put a mark that way. Then you take your standard framing square. See how it has this lip here, both sides? You take that lip and you place it along the bottom edge of your lumber. You slide it down until the line lines up with the upright. And then I take and shove real hard to get the square to be completely square. Then you take your pen or pencil and you make your line across your lumber, just like that, okay? Now, a way that you can ensure that your cuts are always square. You see how your circular saw has this flat plate on it, and it has those 2 notches on the left-hand corner. What you can do is line the notch up with the line, like so. Then you slide your square over like that, hold your square firm, and you just created a saw fence. That way it keeps your saw nice and square to the lumber. Now, I've already made our cuts, and what you can see here, I've got two 73-inch long 2x6s. I have one 2x6 cut at 40. That's going to be the header. Then I have one 2x8 also cut at 40. That's going to be the footer, just to help keep the mat, because the head's going to be against the wall. The foot's going to be out in open space. That way it helps secure the mattress. Here are two side mattress supports already cut to length. And then there are the cutoffs from those. They measure 24 or 23 inches. And I figure with the fact that I'm using 1/4-inch thick plywood to lay down in the bottom and then set the mattress on top of that, that would be plenty long enough for the upper rail. Now, you always need to pre-drill your wood. So the way you pre-drill is, we've already established the dimensions are 1.5 inches. So what you would do, because there's going to be caps on this, you would take your top and bottom caps, measure down from your cut 1.5 inches, then find the exact middle of that. Draw a line using your square all the way across, and then divide this width by 3 and position your screws equally apart. You will need to pre-drill all of your holes to keep from splitting the wood, because you're so far out here at the end. And that's just simple as taking a drill bit that's smaller than the screw, drill through. That gives you a pilot hole. That way when you put the screw in, you don't split it. All right, y'all, welcome back. So what I've done is I've got everything laid out like I talked about, and I'm gonna show you what it looks like. So right here, this is the 2x6 that's gonna be at the head. So what I did is I measured in 1.5 inches, and then I split the distance. And then I went and split the distance on the width and put 1, 2, 3 screws. Now, I measured that one out and I wasn't happy. So on the other end, did the exact same thing, and I just eyeballed the screws. That way they'd be closer to the ends for more bite. Here's the 2x8 that's going to be the footer, and you'll notice that same thing. Now on this one, you'll notice there's already screw holes. That's because I reused this piece of wood, because, yeah, why not? Wood's super expensive. Now for the little bit of adult humor. You'll notice that this is kind of dirty. It's been laying out in the yard and whatnot. This piece was the same. And so for the first time in my life, I had to actually wash my wood before I could use it. That pause was for the adults to laugh. So now moving back to the serious stuff. I'll take this piece outside and wash it as well, just so we don't have, all this dirt and everything that's all over it. I'm also going to remove these staples that are in it, so that, just because. Now on this top and bottom rails, you can see that we did the same thing. Those are the top and bottom mattress supports. And then these are the long sides. So what we did is we measured the length. We divided it by just a divisor. I just picked a number that would think about maximum support. These happen to be 12 inches. These happen to be 6 inches. I figured with this being so long and having the plywood on top of it, that it would be fine 12 inches. These being short and being more concentrated, I decided to go 6 inches. So that's it for now. Next thing I'm going to do is drill all of the cross marks with a pilot bit so that it doesn't split when the screws go in. And then we will start assembly. Talk to y'all later. All right, everybody, welcome back. So you can see over here what we got done. We got the rails along with the mattress supports attached. You see we countersunk all the screws just because it looks nicer. And then what I did is I looked at the boards to figure out which way the crown went. So every board has a crown to it. It's where it's got an arch. So you always want to put the crown up so that over time the board goes down to level, okay? We also got the footboard done as well as the header. Now, these little 1-bys are notorious for being let's say less than straight. So what I do is I take, once I've got my measurements made out, I'll take and lay it on the board and figure out which side is the straightest. And I put the straightest side up. Then what I do is I take my square and I put my square down here against the edge of the board like that and push it up tight against the edge of the board. Then I move it over and I hold it as tight as I can and I force the 1x down so that we're flush. That way we don't end up with a big bow in it, and the support, the plywood, which is over here, I got it for free. It's half sheets off of pallets. I'm gonna cut the good sections out of it and use that as the supports. Getting ready to start putting it together. I might have to take it out. Actually, no. I'm just gonna build it in place because I haven't figured out the height yet, because it's gonna be a little bit higher than usual because I'm gonna put storage totes underneath it. So I'll bring y'all back once we've got it loosely assembled, and I'll show you how you square one up. All right, YouTube. All right, now we got the bed all finished up. Measurements came out correct. It's completely square. And I was looking at it, and what I decided to do was do a little wood burning. Now you see over on the inside, yeah, why do that? Because ain't nobody gonna see it. But all you do, you just use a propane torch, fire it up. I'll show you over on this inside part. And then all you do is move it back and forth until you get the level of distress that you want. Now you'll notice that the darker spots of the wood, they don't really go with the first burn. If you want to do those, you got to really hold on to it for a minute, but I like it just with a little bit of char and leaving a little bit of wood intact. But the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna cut the plywood down to fit, but y'all have all seen plywood cut before, so I'm not gonna bother with that. But you'll see one of the reasons that I made it 17.5 inches off the ground was in order to get maximum storage area underneath. So we got 4 of these totes that come from, I think, Costco or someplace like that. I'm gonna see if I can maybe get some of the 6-foot long ones, because that might, if it has more storage capacity, then we'll go with that. Now, because of the way the front of the trailer is shaped, it has this funny curve to it. I don't know if y'all can clearly see it, but what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take another 2x6, because that gap over there is the exact width of a 2x6. So I'm gonna take another 2x6, I'm gonna put it horizontal, I'm gonna cut it to fit this corner, and then I'm gonna attach it over there so there'll be a shelf running all the way down the side of the bed. That way, lamps, chargers, phones, all that junk can sit over there, and I don't have to take up floor space with a nightstand. Because as y'all can see, I've only got about maybe 6 or 8 feet of floor space left, but at the same time, TV's going on that wall. I'm gonna try and figure out if I can set a chair somewhere in here, because I just don't really want to sit on the bed all the time watching TV. But that's how you build you just a rudimentary, just a nothing. It's just a rectangle that'll hold a mattress. It's all you need. Up on the headboard, I think I may dress it up a little bit and actually make a headboard, but we'll see how energetic and spunky I feel. Appreciate y'all watching. I'm gonna move on to the exterior roof, and then once I get up there and get started with that, I'll bring y'all back. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye. All right, good day, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good evening. It's about 10 o'clock and been a long day. So today, as y'all have already seen, I built the bed and I made it a little bit nicer with the burning and making it look a lot better. We also picked out the paint, and I had some help with it because I'm colorblind. The color is called Clean Slate. It's the one that was picked out for me. You can see a little bit of it here on my neck. It's up completely in the other room, but I'm going to put on a second coat tomorrow and also paint the wall behind me in order to make it look its best. So it's going to be a little bit of a surprise. We also, and when I say we, I mean me and the mouse in my pocket, we got up on the roof and we finished the back of the trailer, which is back here. Got it completely resealed. We also applied caulk to the seam, just like we did on the other walls to help over watertight it. And then also there's a drip edge on the back of the trailer that this rear door back here is a full lay down door, and the back of the trailer is a dovetail that drops down because it's a car hauler. And there's a drip rail above that door to throw the rain over the door seal. That way we don't have any issues with water sitting on top of the seal. So I also scraped all the old sealant out of that seal, or out of that drip edge, and then re-caulked it as well in an effort to best dry out the complete trailer. Something I'm going to do while I'm up at Fort Leavenworth is I'm going to take this part of the trailer and completely insulate the ceiling in it, because with the ceiling being basically sheet aluminum, when the wind blows, it likes to flap. And I found that when I did the front, it no longer does that. So I'm just going to do the whole thing once I get up there. I mean, those sheets of insulation, they fit wall to wall, and they're like $15 a piece. So, do 1 or 2 a week and be done with it. But that's, it for today. So I'll bring y'all back tomorrow after I put on the second coat of the clean slate. It's a Valspar exterior paint, and I know I'm using it on the interior, but I went with exterior because it's so much tougher. I'll bring y'all back. I'll show y'all what that looks like. I'll also take you up on the roof and show you the finished exterior, or the finished edge seams, if you will. I have to rethink my method for crawling out on the roof, because as I've discovered, the rubber doesn't actually dry. So what I don't want to do is put a board on top of it and then lift the board up and remove the rubber. So I'm going to have to figure out another way to get up in the middle of it so that I can clean out those seams and fill them with that rubber also. But look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a great night. All right, YouTube, welcome back to the roof. So as you can see, we got the entire roof seam, outer perimeter is completely done all the way around. Got a good layer. We got the seals underneath are completely siliconed, and then the rubber is on top of it. See the patch. You can see where I started on the beams. Give me a second, I'll take you back here to the back, and that's what you'll really like. Oh. Yeah, she's been a long road, but up around all the excess, what I'm gonna do is get some brake cleaner and a whole bunch of rags, and we'll clean it up. So here's the back, just so y'all can see it. You can see we got it all the way across, all the way down. You'll notice there's a lot of rubber back here. It's because my trowel broke and I had to put it on by hand. So you live and learn. But you can see I went ahead and did this one seam. That's what I'm going to do to all of them, all the way across, just to help seal them up. And this one I could reach from the ladder back here, but the rest of them I can't. So I might figure out a way to get out there on them. All right, YouTube. So we're back in the workshop. Right here, I'm working on these are going to be my kitchen cabinets that I'm going to build. They're going to be 63 inches across, and I'm going to make them 37 inches high and 25 inches deep. That's pretty much standard kitchen cabinets. And they're going to go right over here on this wall, which is why I didn't bother to paint down. And if you remember, on this wall, we've got the outlets up high like a kitchen would be. You'll notice that I'm also pointing it at the floor so you can't see the paint color yet. So we'll walk in here to the bedroom / living room / den / closet, playroom, and everything else. And here's the walls. So as you can see, they're a slate colored. I really, really like the color. I think it came out really well. There's just a little bit of touch up to do. For example, if you'll notice here in the screws, I'm gonna find me a real small little, like a craft brush. and touch those up so that they don't shine at you. But all in all, it looks really good. And just like I told you last night, I used an exterior, I think it's an exterior satin. Hold on just a second. Yep, exterior satin, because it stands up so much better. It's much more durable. And being in here, you have to worry about temperature spikes and whatnot. But I really, really like it. I decided I am not going to paint the ceiling. However, the ceiling is just right now kills. So I'm gonna get a quart or so of white paint, tape off up here, tape off all the gray. So I have a nice, clean, crisp transition. Then in the following week, I'm gonna cut that nub off. That opening measures 24 inches square, and Lowe's sells it measures 26 inches square, and Lowe's sells a 24-inch wide door. So by the time I get done shimming and furring, it'll fit perfectly. I believe I'm gonna have it open into the workshop / kitchen area, so that it doesn't take up any more room, any more space. But other than that, we got our plan for the day. I'll bring y'all back once I start on the kitchen cabinets, or once I've got something to show you. I'll bring y'all back and show you that. And then last thing, little top tip. So when you're waiting for your paint to dry, and you always worry about your brushes drying out, et cetera, et cetera. A trick that I found, take a plastic bag, put your brush down in it, the brush end is right here, and wrap it up really, really, really tight. What that does is that prevents any oxygen from getting to the paint and thusly drying out the roller, or the brush or the roller. As you can see here, I do the same thing with the roller. Now, these have been in here since overnight, or since last night, and I can tell you they're still soft and the paint is still wet. That's on them. So that's a little top tip for you, just to help you out. We'll talk to y'all after a while. Bye-bye. Hey, good morning, YouTube. It's Sunday morning, about 11 o'clock. It's a pretty good night. Watched the new Hellraiser movie. Hulu redid it, and it pretty much follows along the original, and I think it's even better. It was a really, really good movie, but I know some people don't like it. But so for today, as I promised you last night, I told you what the color was going to be. I just wanted it to dry fully, and it has dried now. And so what I'll do here in a minute, I'll get y'all turned around and I'll show y'all the new color. Today we're also going to finish up rubberizing the roof across the back. And then there's a part right about here on the driver's side that I got to finish. And that'll be it for the roof, with the exception of the seams that go all the way across. And as I told you last night, I got to figure out another way, because I don't want to remove that rubber that I already worked so hard to put down. So we'll figure something out. Maybe I'll give me some scaffolding, or see if I can find somebody that's got a loading dock and pull up beside it on a Sunday and use their loading dock. All right, YouTube, it's been a heck of a day. We've got a lot of stuff done today. So the last thing I did for the day, I took this great big old door off the hinges, which are up there and down there, and took the door completely apart, insulated it with the 1/2-inch thick foam like we did on all the other ones, glued it in, spray foamed the aluminum beams so they would be solid also, put the door back together, because after I got this room painted and made it look so good, I realized, oh crap, I forgot the door. Things happen. But had a really good day. Got, I don't even know what all we got done. Got the roof finished. We got the drawings for the kitchen construction done. We got that door done. Got all the touch-up paint done, so none of the screw heads stick out at you anymore and shine gold like they were doing. The port came in that I need to put in the floor right back there to be able to drop the electrical cable down to plug it into the pedestal. I found out that the place that I'm going to be parking the trailer at is a mobile home slot, so it's got water and sewage. So I'm going to be getting some PEX and running some PEX. I'm probably going to get a natural gas instant water heater also. And then because it's got sewage, I'm also going to put in a regular toilet. I just don't know where I'm going to put it yet, because back there, that's where I want to work on cars, and I don't want a toilet in my living area. So we'll figure that out. But as usual, all love and affection goes out to Mike Bravo Charlie. Without you, we couldn't get this project done. If y'all like this, please subscribe, show your friends, and then we'll be back at it tomorrow. Have a great day.